Casimir Ferrer is above all a great artist, a tremendous artist. And what I particularly like about his work is everything that reminds me of space, a vision, a dream, a beauty. All that I find in what he does. But beyond that, he is a man who has a huge, immense heart. And that's certainly what is most important for me about Casimir. When I start any sort of work, the drawing, the general frame of the work in my head is complete. In film, we first see the white screen, and then, little by little, the film will unfold and take shape and tell the story. When I'm in front of a large canvas, especially canvases measuring 4 by 2 meters, or even larger, you might think that fear has gripped you and that something bad is happening. Whereas for me, this is not at all the case. In fact, everything I have in my mind will be projected on this canvas. In other words, the color, the graphics, I see them and I will throw myself at the canvas. And quickly, very quickly, make a drawing that will embody what I feel. Whether it is in painting or sculpture, the work of the artwork of very large formats, whether on a canvas or in a sculpture, denotes in the artist a fight with himself. He is faced with something in his mind that he cannot achieve. And therefore, he will try to go beyond his capabilities. Sculpture for me of course, is lightness in space. Woodcut. First I do the drawing. The drawing is very important. Woodcut without drawing, that doesn't work. A very good drawing, complete and balanced. For this drawing, I will work with a friend, Pierre Payer, who, through his dexterity, will translate what I wanted to do in a drawing into xylography, or woodcut. We see some examples in several books that we have made together, and a few prints that have already been published for some time now. For me, religion does not hold an important place, but I would say the religious subject instead. The Way of the Cross, the Church of Carla are works that have counted heavily in what I have done. The Church of Carla is a subject I will not say is huge, but more than that, this is something that matters a lot to me. It's a work that is paramount. It's a work that requires a lot of effort and thought. It's a work that requires introspection, very significant introspection. And that's why when I worked on the church, The subjects came much like a carpet that unrolled before me. In the way of the cross, I have done two ways of the cross. There's the one in Belcastel in Aveyron, which is fairly interesting, which is unique for its glasswork, especially in each scene. But above all, there is the way of the cross at the Church of Blois in Albi. And this way of the cross is very interesting for me because it is very strong. Painting and sculpture materialize. The materialization is where we find a very major force. In the subject, the steel truly comes out of the scene and gives a strength in each action of passion, something very strong, and something very strong inside. And in this way of the cross, there's a something particular, which is that, in fact, this is a work where there are several components. And when you look at this way of the cross, it comes out of the blue, which is a cool color that rises little by little towards the warm colors, in other words, to the light. There are recurring topics, I think, about music, the violin. There have been other instruments, but the violin comes back very often. Why? First, because my son is a violinist, and I have been immersed in the process of learning the violin when he was a toddler until now. And then, because the violin is, for me, is the king of instruments. The messages are numerous and come out of this instrument. It's very important in what it can give. Then, well, there is the color you will use. For example, with the violin, the gold color of the brass will accentuate the musical part. We hear the music. The violin that I will put on metal parts is a violin that is played. It is not a stationary violin. Because in all my works, what predominates is often the light, but above all, the movement. It is often said that I am a humanist. I am very happy for that, but in my work, in general, what I want is joy, happiness, life. In the reds, when I use these reds in my painting, that's life, light, and for me it is very important. I don't want to dwell on the bad things. There's enough of that going on in the world today.